What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Earlier this year, I ran a 3-hour and 9-minute marathon as my B race of the year, all with the goal that in October for the Chicago Marathon, I would break 3 hours. That race earlier this year was a test, and it taught me a lot. It taught me I'm capable of running 3 hours, but it also taught me that I need to work smarter, not harder. Post the race, I ran into an injury, put me out for a little bit, and I learned what I did wrong and what I need to do differently for this marathon prep. So in today's video, I'm gonna walk you through everything that I'm doing in order to run a sub 3-hour marathon at the Chicago Marathon this year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Now this prep is different than any other prep I've done before because for the first time ever, I am prioritizing health over performance, which sounds crazy in a marathon prep because a marathon prep is not healthy in the first place. But I will not let my ego determine my runs and my workouts. Whether I want to pull a pace faster than I should or a distance longer than is planned, I will not let myself do it. If I'm not feeling great, I'll pull back. Everything in this prep is centered around recovery, doing the workouts to the plan and doing everything possible to recover as best as possible. And like I said in the beginning, I'm working smarter, not harder. And by focusing more on recovery than just working harder and doing more, ironically, I already feel better. I feel way more motivated, way more healthy, stronger, fitter, and it's working out. And speaking of working out, that's what we got right now. We have one of our key workouts of the week right now. We have an 8-mile workout or an 8-mile run with a 4-mile workout, a 4-mile progression in the middle of it. Nothing too intense because right now in this phase of the prep, we are focusing on building our mileage. And so I don't want to increase mileage and also increase intensity right now. So we're keeping the speed workout a little bit easier, but it will get intense. We'll go 7:45 pace down to a 7:30 pace, down to a 7:10 pace, down to a 6:50 pace with a 2-mile warm up and a 2-mile cool down. So it should be good. 8 miles, a little steamy out. All right, let's get this going, and I'm gonna talk to you about how I'm approaching my runs in this prep. Workout of the workout done. We've got like a mile left on the cool down, but pretty successful. So the first one was at 7:45, 7:25, 7:05, 6:45. Nailed it. That last one though, I was feeling this heat, but that's okay. That's one of the key workouts done for the week. What's different about this prep is I'm done forcing mileage. I've gotten up to some pretty crazy mileage just for a marathon, and it helps for sure. I'm definitely gonna get up to it, but I'm gonna be a lot smarter with it. I'm not going to force in junk mileage when the week doesn't ask for it. Say life gets in the way, work gets in the way, whatever it be. I'm not going to push myself and fatigue myself and then not recover, and then that just leads you to bad workouts and risk of injury. So I'm really just focusing on each week 3 key workouts. I've got my speed workout, which I just did right now. I've got my long run, longest run of the week. Nothing special there for now, just nice and steady, just increasing the distance. And then my medium to long run, which right now, let's see, my long run's 14 miles, my medium long run's 10 miles. And we'll just gradually increase that one, not step in step with the long run, but it will increase just to give myself more aerobic capacity. And then the rest of the week is just super easy runs. Yes, I'm training for sub 3 hour, perchance 2 hour, 55 minute, and that is like a 6:40 pace or something. My easy runs are still like 9 minutes to 9.5 minutes. It isn't like every run just needs to be faster than everybody else. You can run easy, whatever easy is, that's what you run. So with that said, I focus on those 3 key workouts, and each week I'm increasing total weekly volume by 10%. Last week we finished at 44 miles. This week we're gonna finish at 47 miles. And then basically I started at 0, warmed up into this prep. But my first week I started at like 25 miles, and now we're at week 6 and we're at 47 miles. So that's what I'm focused on running. Those 3 key workouts. If I can get my other easy recovery runs in, that'll add to the weekly volume. But if life happens to get in the way, all I have to make sure is I get those 3 key workouts in. Run done. That was great. 8 miles, 7:58 pace, 4-mile progression. Nothing crazy. And I forgot to mention, I talked about increasing mileage week to week. I'm gonna try to peak at 75 miles for this prep. 65 to 75, depending on how I feel. But the goal right now is 75 peak mileage. It's gonna be intense, but I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna feel healthy. I'm gonna be recovered, because all I care about are those 3 key workouts. And if I can get to 75, who be it? So this probably looks a little interesting on camera, but this is part of the routine now. No, not looking interesting on camera, because I do that without trying. Photography isn't really my forte, but recovery, stretching. It wasn't until this last marathon prep that I actually even warmed up before a run. I just would wake up, run, and it did me fine for forever. But not necessarily as mileage increased, because most of my preps have honestly been around the same mileage. But when you're running faster, the intensity also picks up. Your running mechanics change slightly when you're pushing harder, and it wasn't until I built enough fitness to run some of these paces that now structure my mechanics a little bit, make me a little tighter in places. I've noticed definitely in my hips. Hang on, I gotta change. And so warm-ups and stretching. Warm-ups before every run, stretching every single day before bed. Even if that means I've gotta do it in a hotel room when I'm traveling, I'm still stretching before bed. Bigger focus on daily stretching, but it doesn't stop there. What's new in this prep that's very new and I've never done before, and I've picked it up since my last marathon where I injured myself post-race, but I'm doing PT 2 to 3 times a week. In those PT sessions, I've put other videos out there on what exactly I'm doing, but they are hip and glute focused. My running mechanics, when I get faster, it puts a lot of strain on my hips. And when one thing starts to fail when you're running, it creates a chain reaction all the way down. You might have some glute weakness that then turns into an Achilles injury. Your body compensates for weak areas. When you do find that root cause, you've got to make sure you take the proper precautions, precautions to strengthen those muscles, so when your body does get fatigued, you have that strength to make sure it holds up. Recovery is not just stretching. This morning we had our recovery run and one of our PT sessions. I am so dialed in on these recovery runs. I always have been, but this prep in particular, my easy runs, I am making sure that I do not get an ego hit on any of them. They're all touching 9.5 minutes every run, no matter whether it's 2 miles or it's an 8-mile recovery run. I am taking it so easy. And that is a part of recovery. Doing your exercises at an intensity that it requires. And also sleep. I've always been a good sleeper though, so that's nothing new, but that is still very important. Now that that's over, 4 miles PT session, let's get on with the day, and I'll catch up with you guys at the next session. Long run day, okay. Should probably be a little bit more quiet. Before we get on this long run, before we get on the road, I want to talk about nutrition and what my plan is for this prep. So before this prep, I lost 10 to 15 pounds with the intent just to be lighter, because being lighter makes it a lot easier to run some of these distances, and it makes you a little bit faster. But also because I don't like being heavy. Like, if you see my other videos, you know I had a history when I was younger on being a little on the chunky side. And so I don't like to do that. And every single marathon prep, I have gained weight. And it's because you have to fuel for performance. So I lost weight before. So one, I was a little bit faster. And two, I'm not worried about gaining weight because I lost it before. And so now I can really make sure I fuel for performance and not for aesthetics. So nutrition plan for this prep, lots of carbs. We've increased their caloric intake quite a bit. I mean, I'm not eating anything ridiculous. I'm normally like a 2,000 calorie a day guy, but now we're looking at 26,000 and eating 300 to 400 grams of carbs every day. And it's made me feel amazing on these runs. I'm not gonna lie, you have to eat to run some of these distances. Nutrition during runs is no different than it has ever been. We are just now getting into the distances where we're starting to introduce fuel, not because we necessarily need it, but because you want to train your body to be able to digest it and handle it during these runs. But basically, a gel packet every 4 miles. I'll do 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes every 7 miles. I haven't gotten there yet. We're only at 14 miles today. But that's typically my game plan. The strategy for 2-hour 55 marathon this year with nutrition: eat. 13.98, come on. 13.99, come on. Oh, 14, you hear that? 14, one for Strava Tags. 14 miles, 8:40 pace, extremely aerobic. This was the first morning where the humidity was a little bit lower and the feels like wasn't 90 degrees plus before the sun was up. So that run, I mean, I don't know what other word to describe it as. It's just calm. I mean, I was just chilling, cruising that entire run. And honestly, I feel like I didn't start sweating until the last little bit when the sun was up. I mean, I was sweating, but I was probably mile 10, 11, where I still was considerably dry, which is not normal for me. Well, that was good. So let's go inside. And I know I haven't filmed any strength training in this video. So let's talk about it. What does strength training look like when running 2 hours and 55-minute marathons? Potentially. Let's not forget that potentially part. So you're probably thinking about how I always talk about how important it is to lift, and it's good for your mindset, it's good for you physically, yet Tyler has not lifted once in this video. He is only running. And yes, that is true for this video, but it's not true in the grand scheme of the full week and week to week. We are still lifting. Old Tyler would think lift as much as possible. New Tyler in this new prep is thinking lift to support running. So strength training has moved from heavy squats, deadlifts, ego lifting, lots of volume, and is more specific and more intention. So we're doing single leg lifts, good mornings, not heavy lunges, but enough to activate the glutes. We're doing hip bridges, whatever you call it. We're working our hips, our lower back muscles, not heavy weight, enough to activate it, promote recovery, and promote that muscle to be firing when we're running. Because what happened in my last injury is a certain part of my body, my glute, wasn't firing and wasn't activating when I got to certain speeds. And therefore your body starts to compensate, and as we all know, compensating leads to injury down the road. So my lifts during this prep, while I'm still lifting upper body, of course, you gotta have the aesthetics, and we're still benching and doing shoulder press. I am lifting lower body a lot more, but less intensity, lower volume, and more specific training. The goal is to lift 2 to 4 times a week, whether that is 2 full body lifts, an upper, a lower, and then an upper, or whatever it is, but we're hitting every muscle twice a week in any way we want to split it up, any way that the schedule allows. So this mindset shift that I've had for strength training this prep is how I'm looking at everything else in this prep, that more is not always better. more specific, more intention, and going at it in a smarter way is gonna get me across that finish line. After taking some serious time off from my last injury, so not by choice, it has made me so much more motivated to run. And like the saying goes, a healthy person wants a million things, a sick person only wants one. It's a similar thing to running. Nothing makes you appreciate running more than when you can't run. And so who knows, maybe with this approach I have, maybe I'll hit 2 hours and 55 minutes, maybe 3 hours, which is still a big goal. Or maybe I won't. Who's to say? I guess time will tell. But one thing is for sure, for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm actually doing things the smart way, the better way. Yeah. So we got 12 more weeks, 13, 14, 12 to 14 more weeks left in this prep. Our nutrition, our recovery, our strength training, and our running program is dialed in. All that's left for me to do is just follow the play, and hopefully things work out. I guess time will tell. I'm gonna end the video here, guys. Thanks for watching another one. I hope you learned a few things in this video on how to approach a marathon prep. You always see people do some crazy mileage, some crazy intense, hard, long runs. You see the Strava posts, the social media of people turning and burning on Wednesday easy run, and you think you gotta keep up, but slow and steady wins the race. Your training run in week 8 doesn't matter. What matters is the time on race day. And even that doesn't really matter, because all of this is just to make you a better person here and in here, so that you can be a better person to everyone else around you and kinder to yourself. Stay tuned for the prep. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.